Welcome back, my ex-peers, my YouTube family, to another episode of Next Level Video Games. On the side, and I have a Super Nintendo that's doing something interesting that I have no clue how to repair or if it can even be repaired. Let me show you. Super Nintendo that's been sitting over here. So I decided, let's plug it in. And I went a little overboard trying to figure out what was going on. And there was a few issues. It wouldn't turn on. It wouldn't turn on at all, no power. So I went through my regular rigmarole, and as you can tell and see, there is no power. But if I wiggle this, I will eventually, I gotta plug it in. That might help. All right, let's try it again. Hey, look it. So I'll put the 32 pin back and everything back in. I'll restart it, turn it off, turn it back on. I got AV and RF. Let me show you. This is going to be AV. Look how jank that is. Definitely doesn't get a good signal. I've cleaned the port. It's definitely not that. But, see, it says no signal now. But if we switch it to RF, works perfectly fine. No issues. Doesn't look great, but it definitely works. So, here's the problem. I don't have time to work on it. If someone could give me an idea maybe where I can look for, I didn't see anything wrong with the board. Some of the capacitors look a little old. I could change them out to see if maybe that will help. But from my understanding, the RF signal uses the same signal as the AV. No, I've cleaned out the port. No issues there. I don't see any issues with the board. So, I mean, I would start at the capacitors. I don't see any bad traces or damage on any of it. It's definitely working, and the RF is working. It's just the AV. So I'll have to eventually dig back into it. If you've ever seen any issues similar to that, maybe you point me in the right direction. Leave a comment down below. Let me know. It might just be a repair day. We have PS4 cleanout. We have a non-touchscreen DS, 2DS, and this Xbox One S is, no. Is this an S? Nope, this is Xbox One, the white one. Someone definitely has been in it. You can see that it has been open. They said their son was, so I'm wondering, this thing turns on and then turns right back off, which is an indication of something else, but I have to get into it to see if it was even put back together properly to see if I can figure out what's wrong with it. So ended up going up to Travis's for our Monday whatnot stream up there with him. And I did pick up some stuff I would like to get into inventory and probably get some more inventory in today too. So I definitely have my hands full, so let's go. Just got an eBay sale and it's right above me. Selling the 32X this morning for $150 plus shipping on top. So I'll get that shipped out later today. I'm just gonna let God of War play for a bit. Try to get through it a little bit. See if I can get it to play. Just get warm, start heating up, make sure everything's working, doesn't overheat. Put it all back together, and there it is. That's working. The SD card slot will work. And then I tested the game, and it works perfectly fine. So, there she goes. Things are done. Now we have one more repair to do for a customer, and that is this Xbox. So we're gonna take it apart and see why it's not getting any juicy juice, or it's getting juice, just not staying on. So I have a feeling that maybe it's one of the ribbon cables that are either damaged or not properly seated. She's definitely dusty. I wonder what the thermal paste looks like. This in a second, because supposedly there's like 2 discs in here or something. So we'll have to take that apart. Right now, I need to get further in this to see what's going on. Wow, look at the blanket of dust. And this stuff is chalk. That's definitely not doing anything or helping. See if we can clean it up. Take this apart. Let's see if I can get inside of it and verify they loaded it with a bunch of discs. Right, it wasn't discs. What is that? That looks like a freaking football card has been jammed in here. Oh. Jimmy Smith, you're not supposed to be in there. No. That card in there, let's put the cover back on, and then we'll put it all back together. I was just waiting for the heatsink to kind of dry more. Let's see if we can get this thing working. So, new thermal paste, cleaned it all up. Let's see what happens when I tap this button. Nothing. First trade, we got how to draw Sonic the Hedgehog. I forgot if this had a date on it. I don't remember seeing a date. 2 N64 controllers, a jungle green, gray, Xbox One, NES controller, Kirby Air Ride. Then we have this lot right here. Battlefront 2, some loose games, Xenoverse, Street 2, probably the best ones. Then we got the Warriors for the PS2. Bunch of Xbox One games with an Xbox One. Haven't tested it yet. It's pretty dirty. Then we have a Game Boy Color. Unfortunately, there's corrosion on the batteries terminals, so I'll have to clean that off before I can test it. Maybe we could try to put a battery in it. Let's find out. Batteries in there. Let's turn it on. It turns on. How about we try this Pokemon Yellow in it? Let's clean it. Game with some isopropyl alcohol. I also cleaned the contacts inside the console. Let's turn the volume up. There it goes. Ooh. Volume needs some work. AGS001, as you can tell, the back end of it looks pretty bad. That's because it had original battery in it. Look how bulge it is. These things, these old Nintendo Alkaline batteries have been known to bulge. So I was able to just replace it with one of the standard replacement batteries, and it comes on perfectly fine. The crazy thing is I plugged this into here and was checking out, and look at that. There's a continue on this yellow. 117 Pokédex, 214 hours. Whew. And it still saves. Doesn't mean it has a new battery, but at least saves. And then we got a Sapphire. This Sapphire needs a new battery, and someone got it for $19.99. What a steal. This is a legit copy, which is good, because now I have 2 Sapphires. No Pokemon Yellows, and this is the best looking Pokemon besides my Crystal, so that's awesome. Sold something online, which is this guy right here. I have it out of its box for right now. But the NES Classic came with this beautiful box that has all the wires, cables, everything. It's a very clean, awesome looking NES Classic. Cables, wires, paperwork is up there, both controllers. I believe they all have extenders on them. Power brick is going to a good home. I will box these up in a few minutes because I gotta get that done. We're still working on this Xbox. Unfortunately, even after doing the thermal paste, it's still not working. That means there's something else going on with it. An Xbox 360 that's definitely, you know, has no cables, no controllers, been beat up. Some crap-tastic, you know what? All those sports games. We did get one game though. NCAA football 13. It's about a $30 game. I can't figure out why it's not turning on. In general, there may be one of these power outputs that's a little off, like this one down here. It could be the problem. I have no clue. Tomorrow I may just flip one of these over and see if it still reads the same voltage or the same capacity. Because I'm taking a shot in the dark when it comes to this board in particular, but Xbox Ones in particular. I repair them. For the S's, I repair the chip and everything else. This one, I just got to figure out exactly what the problem is, but that's the problem. I'm getting all the right voltages, 5 volt, 12 volt when I press the button, 3 volt, but it just will not stay on, which also might be, this thing might be dead. So, until I can get a little R&R with it, it may be just a dead console until I can learn a little bit more. This is why I'm going to tell you guys. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I'll see you next time. Don't forget to level up.